Hello, my name is Ben from Entrepreneur Education in Australia, located on the Gold Coast, and I'm here today to talk, interview, have a conversation with an ex-student. Her name is Kamilė from Vilnius in Lithuania. Welcome, Kamilė. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Very good. So today I wanted to discuss your time in Australia, from study to general life, and how did you have fun, what was the living cost, all those type of things. So we'll start off with, what was the course that you did at Entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I did photography, and this was pretty new course at your college, and I was already before interested in photography, and I thought this would be a really good start for me to start a photography career. And
so you had background back home in Lithuania?
I was just starting to get interested, but I didn't do it professionally yet.
Okay.
So I chose this course and I stayed there for 10 months. And I really enjoyed the practical parts of the studies. We go out and shoot with the colleagues, with the teacher. So it was really good place to just go out and shoot everything that you can see, and
practice what you taught in class.
Yeah, and Gold Coast is so beautiful, and you just cannot get enough of beautiful views. You just can go all the time, just go, and with your camera and just go crazy.
All right, so we'll backtrack a little bit. So you were in Lithuania and you spoke to the agency who did all your process. We'll talk a bit about that, and how long was that process, and was it a hard process in terms of getting your visa, coming to Australia?
So I think I contacted the agency in November, and in January, first week, I was already in Australia. So it was really quick process, and agency took good care of me and my partner. So I came together with my partner who wasn't studying, but he came with a partner visa.
Yep.
So that's a really good option for those who are traveling in couples.
Yep.
And so the process was, I would say, easy. So one of the hardest parts was to prove that I am in a relationship with my partner, so that we had to collect all the documents and just to prove to them that we are really a couple and not just doing this for the visa. And other than that, it was a smooth process.
Cool. And when you first landed into Australia, was it Sydney or Brisbane? And what was your first impression of the Gold Coast or Queensland in general, and the people?
Well, so in January here it was really cold, as here's winter, and there was still summertime, so that was really nice change. And so I think from the moment that I landed, I already fell in love with that place, and that feeling never changed. And the more time I spent there, the more I like that place.
Yeah. And over time, when you settled in and moved into like an apartment or share accommodation, was that like an easy process for you to do coming from your home country?
So when I came, before coming, we found the accommodation in one of the places, but then we started to look for new places because we just searched for better place.
Location and nicer, yeah.
Yes, and we then, in I think 1.5 months, we changed the location to much better place. Then we were staying really close to the ocean.
Yeah.
And so we took the place for ourselves and rented the other room for other people. And so it's a really good option if they let you to rent the place for yourself, and it's financially it's the best thing to do. And so I really enjoyed living just 1 minute from the ocean.
Lucky you, like every other student. So you're in Australia, you're on the Gold Coast, you're 2 months, 3 months into your course, you're having a great time, your course is fascinating, having fun. What did you do on the weekends and outside of class time or on the holidays to have a bit of fun?
So when we came, we started to looking for a car right away because we knew that there are so many things to see around. So I think in 2 months we bought a car, and then whenever we got a chance, we just drove somewhere around. And so we would spend night camping and just going to all the waterfalls, Springbrook and all the parks.
The places where local people never really go. Really?
Well, I don't know why. Well,
I'm telling you, yeah, correct, it is.
Well, what do you do then? You just party?
No, I stay home with my family and watch my kids eat McDonald's.
Well, you should try going there. It's really nice.
After coming into the Gold Coast and being a student, how hard was it for you to find a job on the Gold Coast?
So on our first day walking on the coast, we stopped at one of the coffee shops on the corner near the ocean, and I just looked at this place and thought, maybe it's not a bad place to work. And then I asked if they're looking for workers, and they said, okay, give me your resume and then I will call you. And the next day they called me, and then the other day I started my trial, and then that was the place that I worked for a whole 10 months.
Wow, so you said one job for the whole time?
Yeah, so people told me that it's hard to keep the job during the winter, but I kept
normally students would do a 3-month stint, go for a holiday to, say, Bali or whatever it is in between courses, and then they come back and have to find another course. So you kind of had a pretty smooth sailing time?
Yes, so I had maybe 2 weeks vacation, but that was, they let me out of it, and then and I could get back in. But yeah, I did all my traveling after, so it was just more smoothly.
Nice. And I heard that your father came, who had a bit of a goal of traveling around Australia to beat the record of 10 days, or I think he did it in 10 days.
Yeah.
But if you could talk about that.
So yes, my dad is a auto journalist, and he travels and set records with cars. So he wanted to come and drive around Australia with a car as fast as he can. So he did it in.
Was it a van or car?
Car. So it was the car that we bought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just old Honda.
Wow.
And so yeah, he came, he drove around, and we, with other few Lithuanians, we greeted him, gave him the diploma, and it was a nice celebration. And then he came back after a few months with my mom, and then we did a road trip with them, the slow one, not around. So yeah, it was really nice time to be able to spend time with them in that country.
Getting into your course, I know we're going a bit of back and forth, but with your course, did you find there was any difference between Lithuanian, say, education, or the way they deliver their courses here in, say, university towards the vocational method that we offered at Entrepreneur?
Well, yes, it's different. I finished a bachelor degree in Vilnius University, so to start with, it's university, so it's more theoretical, and there are so much more time to spend here at university. Yeah. And at the Entrepreneur College, it was twice per week, and as I said, there were a lot of practical things, which is, I think, the most important part of photography, so that's great. And so yeah, it's different, but I think it not only should be practical, but it's also you are able to work and support yourself financially, so it's good that you have that freedom. So basically,
what you have a job and you can basically support yourself while being there, and without asking for help from your parents overseas.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the living costs, and you might like going to the movies or going out for dinner, did you find it quite expensive or cheap compared to, say, Lithuania?
I think before coming there, we have this idea that Australia is expensive country, but once I started living there, I saw that not so much, because I think it's getting more and more expensive here in Lithuania, and the differences are not that big.
Yeah.
And the money you can make in Australia and just have the quality of life and the places you live in, even if you pay a little bit more for your rent, but you live just across
On the
the
beach.
ocean.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And you just can really have a good life there.
And did you compare the Gold Coast to any other city in Australia that you went to and thought, oh, well, I kind of wish I came here, or you were happy with coming to the Gold Coast?
Oh yes, I'm definitely would choose Gold Coast again.
Yeah.
I visited Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. I've been in the middle of Australia, and I think it's the best place, and it's not that big as other big cities. Gold Coast has the same amount of people as in Vilnius,
Yeah.
so it's not so crowded.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't live in any other city.
Yeah. Cool. So if you could give 3 or 2 tips for the next Lithuanian student coming to Australia or Gold Coast, what would they be?
So my number 1 would get a car as soon as you can, because there's so much to see around, and you definitely will need a car to go to those places.
How did you find your car? Was it on Facebook Marketplace, or was it just through word of mouth, or?
No, it was on either on Facebook or some other online group.
Yeah.
Then you should travel as much as possible whenever you have a day off, and just leave the time to travel at least 1 month, just to go around and just to explore this country, because it's really different in all the different places.
Yeah.
And also, don't be afraid to have a job in different areas. Just go, if you have a job here in your qualification, or you have a high position, just don't be afraid to go and be a barista or bartender. It's really fun. That's how you meet new people, you find new friends, and have friends with locals, and it's just really good experience, and it's really fun.
Okay, well done. Well, that is it, and that is a bit of experience of Kamilė in Australia. If you do want to know more about going to Australia and knowing more about Australia, contact the agency for more information. So thank you Kamilė.
Thank you.
Well done.